Hey, Alexus, love beauties and flawless man. Welcome back to part 10 of what I learned from. Today we're going to be talking about jobs. The most irritating. I mean, jobs be cool or whatever, but it just don't be getting what it's supposed to give. We finna get into it. These are the 12 things that I learned about working at jobs. Number one is to save your money. Save your money because you never know what happened. Jobs fluctuate, the system fluctuate, and there's just nothing that you can do. So the purpose of working a job is to get better and to either grow in that company or grow outside of that company. So make sure you're saving some money. Make sure that you're paying your debt also. But in all of that, because I know sometimes it's easy for us to get caught up in saying, well, I just got to pay bills. I just got to take care of kids. I just got to do this. I got to do that. But we find ways to pay for other things like travel or beautifying ourselves. So let's make sure on top of all that, no matter what it is that we're getting paid, and we can set aside $5, we can set aside $10, $20. But if you have debt, it may be a little harder to save because, I mean, you're going to have to pay your debt. So it's not going to be you're saving all this money and not paying your debt, because then later on you will think that you have thousands of dollars to go spend on something, but your credit is not good. So then you're going to be giving all that money up because you still owe people. So when you have a job, just however you can, however much you can, however often you can even say start saving with pennies. Just make sure that you save some money from the job. Number two, don't get comfortable. We get so comfortable at jobs. Don't ever get comfortable at jobs. Their policy changes, your desire changes, the job changes. Like, don't ever get comfortable because this is somebody else's business. This is somebody else to have authority over everything that's going on in here. Don't get comfortable. Just always make sure that you're doing the job, but just don't even get comfortable there because things happen. You might get fired. You could be laid off and different things like that. So always keep your eyes open. And that goes back to number one about saving money. Just don't get comfortable. And then know that if it comes to a point where you have to leave a job, don't feel uncomfortable, because know that there are other jobs available. Like, don't get complacent at one place and they're not treating you right, they're disrespectful, and you hate it there. There is other jobs available. So don't be uncomfortable either if you have to leave that place. Number three, sometimes people just don't like you at the job. Sometimes people just don't like you, and sometimes people make that harder. Sometimes people get you fired for that. Sometimes when you're learning, people don't really want you to learn, even though they're training you to learn. If they see that you catch on quick, they might be offended by that. So sometimes people just don't like you because they might see your potential of possibly being their supervisor. So if it comes to that, then we're just going to take that with a grain of salt. We just have to learn how to forgive more, have more compassion, and also see what's going on in other people's lives. Typically, when people at the job, they don't really like somebody, it's more of a personal problem. Like, all of these things is a personal problem. The way that somebody treats you is the way that they treat themselves, and that's the way that they feel in general. So if every time you go in this place and somebody got an attitude or they're always mad towards you and you ain't even did and you just got hired here, but you see them acting another way with other people, it could be the potential that they see in you that they just don't like. So sometimes at the job, people might not like you. The hiring manager might not like you, and that is okay. We're just going to learn how to take that with a grain of salt. We're going to learn how to forgive them and just stay disciplined so we can get our money on and then go on home. We don't have to be friends. And then number four, don't date. Please don't mix business with pleasure. I did that on numerous occasions. I got fired because somebody didn't like me. It'd be so crazy because people be working at the job for all this time. Nobody never talked to this person. Everything be cool. And then the moment that y'all talking, you try to stay low key. But then somebody done exposed it or y'all done exposed it to me. Here is a boatload of trouble. We never want to date at the job because at the end of the day, we have a responsibility outside of here. We never want to get comfortable there dating or anything like that because we have a responsibility outside of here. So we just have to be more disciplined with knowing that this is not the place, it's not the time, it's not the people at all. You might have been dating somebody else up in here. Like, it's just too messy. Don't date at the job. Separate business from pleasure. It's only like 1% of people that actually meet at work end up having a successful life. The other 99% of that is just toxic. So just stay away from dating at the job. I don't care how fine somebody is, how beautiful somebody is, what you think they might can help you with. Don't date at the job. If you want to talk to somebody, and I would say wait till you leave, but I would still just say leave that alone in general, because when you leave, you're not going to have contact to nobody at the job. So just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Don't mix business with pleasure. It's not going to go right. Number five, Do the job like you're the only one doing the job. And the Lord told me that when I was at a job. So I was at a job and it was 3 different shifts and it was a person per shift. The other 2 coworkers, they worked Monday through Friday. I only was supposed to go in Saturday and Sunday. Throughout the whole week, these people did not do their job. You could tell, to where people was like, oh my God, we're so glad you came in because the bathrooms is clean. I'm like, what? Now I'm knowing behind the scenes they weren't getting clean, but when somebody else saying something, it's like, okay. And I'm like, I start getting irritated. I'm like, how they been here all week and these bathrooms ain't clean? Like, you could really tell. And then I come in for 2 days. So that means this is not about us. This is about the consumer. This is about the employees that's in here. They're the ones that we're supposed to be cleaning for. They're the ones that we're supposed to be servicing. How do the store look good, but the bathrooms is dirty? So I began to get irritated. And the Lord said to me, do the job like as if you was the only one here. And I'm like, I just feel like that was gonna put too much more on me because like I'm picking up for 2 other people. But I began to say that in my mind and I was just like, okay, I do the job like I'm the only one here, just to be a good Samaritan, whether I get a reward for it or not. Always remember to just do the job like you were instructed to do, because the Lord is always watching, and people that's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're going to be exposed. And I know it don't seem like now because it'd be like they still working there. I done got fired, and this job I did get fired from. For whatever they said they dropped hours, which they did. I don't know, man. I don't know. I got to let go from there. It's fine. But just do the job like you're the only one working there, because the Lord is watching. You will get your reward for that. And I know it'd be looking crazy because it'd be like, well, dang, they still there and they ain't even doing their job. We don't want to worry about what somebody else is doing. We want to mind our business and stay in our office, because 100 times out of 100, the manager be knowing that these people not doing their job. And for whatever reason, they still let them work there. So we're just going to leave that alone. We're going to go and we're going to do what we're instructed to do, because the Lord is watching. And that's the number one important thing. And he will bless us, whether it's right now or whether it's later on, because the Lord remembers the way that we've been treated in these establishments. Number 6, when people be like, don't work too hard, I get it now. I used to bust my behind trying to do the most. You don't get no brownie points. And a lot of times I didn't even get the raises I was supposed to be getting. And sometimes I got fired for doing too much. So don't work too hard. To me, it just simply means do what you were told to do. If you want overtime, get overtime. But if you don't, then don't. And some people be like, don't even want overtime, because the moment you be like, oh, okay, I get overtime, then somebody be expecting you to do the unexpected. And then if you don't, then that causes other problems. And I've seen that too. Like, are you acting funny now? You don't want the overtime? Ma'am, I just did overtime 100 hours last week. I want a break. And then people start acting funny like, you really ain't trying to get our money. Listen, we don't care about all of that. So now I don't work too hard. I just do what I'm entitled to do. And I make sure I'm doing that wholeheartedly. Like if I was the only one there, not worrying about what somebody else is doing. But I'm not finna be trying to do your job, my job, his job, their job. And I know they be asking that on applications like, are you working good? Do you work good under pressure? We be saying yeah, but no, not really. And what else they be asking on the application? They be like, do you work good with others? Yeah, I work good with others. But it's just like, sometimes the others be fooling. It be kind of hard to focus on what I'm supposed to be doing, but it's cool. I just focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. Now I'm learning not to take it personal, because that's their personal problem. So don't work too hard. I mean, work hard in the task that you're doing, but, don't overdo it, because there's no specialty for that, not in these worldly environments. Number 7, separate business from personal. I know we get comfortable when we, think we met a friend or something. We begin to tell people different things like that, especially me, because you feel like somebody be knowing where you coming from, different things like that. But it seemed like the moment that you start opening up to somebody, oh, girl, yeah, I used to work at Kroger, and oh, really, I used to work at Kroger. And it seemed like the moment you start opening up, you start getting comfortable, then they just start acting how they really are. Just separate business from personal. Like, I don't want to date in here. I don't want to talk about nothing personal. I remember somebody was mad because I didn't tell them how much I was making. At this time, I was working multiple jobs, and I didn't know how that got out, being comfortable, because I had told it to my manager, because I'm like, hey, I'm going to be late coming in here, leaving from my other employer. And then one day somebody was like, oh, how was it at your other job today? And I was like, What? So people be just telling people business, just talking. And I told the manager this just because I was going to be late. And you went and told all of my coworkers. So now you got these folks in my business. So now I'm like, okay, it have to be another way to probably say something to not get people in your business. Separate business from personal. They don't have to know how much you're making, because then later on a different person was like, oh, I heard you got multiple jobs. So how much money you be making? And I said, sir, that's inappropriate. That's an inappropriate question. And he kind of mugged me and then went on about his way. And then after that, it was just beef after that. And then again, from that job, I got fired. So, I mean, it's just when people people don't not like when you don't engage with them. But I mean, different strokes for different folks. You don't have to engage with people. If you end up getting fired, just pray about it. Let them go. The Lord will work it out for you. But he was mad, and he was somebody that was kind of like, if he put his 2 cents in, that he can get an outcome on something. So listen, these folks just kept firing me because I was doing my job. These folks just kept firing me because I wasn't wanting to be nobody's friend. And that's how you know how childish that the environments are. But I'm going to do what the Lord told me to do and be wise and do the job like I'm supposed to do and do what's expected of me, because the Lord is always watching me. So I don't really care what the folks got going on. I got fired on my day off like Friday. Number 8, discipline. Just be disciplined. Like, we don't want to have, I've been there and done that, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to have sexual conversations. We don't want to talk about our friends. We don't want to talk about our family. We want to strictly be disciplined. I'm here to handle business. That's it. That's all. Get my money on and then go to the crib. And then I'll see you all again another day. We just want to be disciplined in all areas around this job. I ain't really doing too much talking like that unless I need to. I ain't really trying to be friends. I ain't really trying to link like that unless I need to. Just all around discipline in general. That's just going to help us to, keep down any type of problems. Like I said, if somebody messy like that and they just get you fired because you don't want to be friendly, they don't got nothing to do with you, and it's out of your control. Number 9, don't offer rides. You just want to be careful with your personal. You want to be careful with having people get in your car like, oh, can I get in your car on break? Sometimes people just be looking, especially at the job. People just be wanting to see what you got going on, how you living, especially if you trying to be a private person. So somebody just might say something like, oh, can I sit on your car and break? You think you can take me home? Now, I'm not saying that it might not come to a point to where you might need a ride to work, but I'm just saying, just be cautious with letting people in the car and trying to hang around you on break, or even taking them home, because we just want to keep ourselves safe. So if you need a way to get around that, you don't want somebody in your car, or you don't want to take somebody home, you just simply say something like, oh, I wouldn't be able to because I have to go pick my husband up, or I have to go pick my friend up. I got to drop my daughter off to school. Just flip it another way. And Lord forgive us, because we ain't really trying to tell no white lies, but we are trying to guard ourselves. We are trying to protect ourselves from people that's probably trying to be nosy or wherever it might have you. So just flip it another way. Like, oh, I got dinner cooking. I got to go get this food together. It could just be anything. Don't necessarily lie about it. Just kind of flipping it another way to them folks to get out your business. Like, oh, I can't chill with her. And like I said, you want to be wise too, because you don't want it to get to the point to where you're having car troubles. Now you need to ride for somebody and they like, keep that same energy. Just be wise about the people that you do take home or that you do let sit in your car, because everybody's intentions is not pure. Number 10. Expect the unexpected. Just expect the unexpected. Like, don't get too comfortable. You can possibly get fired, laid off, not get the pay raise, not get the pay increase. Man, I done seen so many things, not getting a pay raise, not getting a pay increase, not even getting paid for the work that I have done. That's the most boldest thing. And that junk be hurting behind the scenes, because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and y'all ain't even gonna pay me. I ain't gonna say it was an argument, but the simple fact that I had to go back and forth with somebody about not getting paid was crazy. Then the person was like, well, we put the hours in. How did you only put 2 hours in? This was a whole 2 weeks pay. Expect the unexpected. Expect people to, if you see their behavior, like I seen this company's behavior, if you see their behavior, then always expect the unexpected. No, nobody shouldn't be playing with your money. No, nobody shouldn't be playing with your time. But if it happens again, leave with your dignity, leave with your self-respect, leave discipline, don't argue. Easier said than live, because don't nobody want their money being played with, especially if they gave your time, your effort, and just pray about it. Eat way easier said than lived. But I lived through it, so now it's easy for me to say, and I just pray about it, and I just forgive them, and I just keep it pushing, because you can't go too far in this world just being cold-hearted, just being a wicked person. I'm not the type of person, I'll be trying to sit around and see what's going to go on, but I just be letting it go and letting God, because I do know that you can't be bad forever. Like, it's going to come back around. This is not the season to be being bad. This is not the season to be being mean and trying to play people, because we see way too much going on. I'm going to stay out of harm's way because I'm not going to argue with you. Okay, y'all folks didn't pay me. And this recent activity, y'all folks didn't pay me my money on. But you know what? It's okay. I give it to the Lord. And you know what's so crazy? The Lord told me that they wasn't going to pay me. There has been, like, when you're, praying and keeping God close, even when you're at the jobs, the Lord will tell you different things that'll go on. He didn't tell me a few things when I've been at a job. He told me the one time that I wasn't going to get paid, holiday pay came around, and he was telling me that to prepare me not to fret your heart. And then the last time he was like, they ain't even finna pay you. I'm like, they ain't finna pay me. Sir, this 2 weeks, you be hot. But it hit different when God tell you, and it just like, all right, okay, it is what it is. I'm gonna let you have that one, Lord. Number 12, don't share. I know that might sound wild. Just be careful with sharing. Let me tell you why. I seen this at a job, okay? And these people I wasn't even involved. The first time they did, I wasn't even there. So I guess they had a day where they were bringing food in. They done cashed out, you feel me? Everybody got Chinese food this day. I wish I was there, but I'm glad I wasn't. Everybody had got Chinese food. So one person bought Chinese food for everybody. Then the next person ended up buying KFC for everybody. And then the next person ended up buying something for everybody. And then me, that time, I ain't getting nothing but a salad. And then what the guy said was, he was like, I told him I don't eat chicken. And he was like, well, what you was planning on eating for lunch today? I was like, I finna just grab me a little Caesar salad out the machine. He was like, well, I can get that for you just simply because we were finna just buy everybody lunch. And then when he got the salad, he was like, dang, this little $7 for this little salad. It was like this big. But he was like, $7 for that little salad? Like, I'm coming with nothing else. I could have bought my own salad. I mean, I was on my way to buy my own chicken salad. I was on my way to buy my own chicken salad anyway. So it's like, so, and then later on, it came to a point to where now they all looking at me like, you buying everything for everybody? I ain't say that. I ain't even eat with y'all all of these times. And I was about to treat myself to a salad, and he wanted to do that. And I'm like, yeah, we'll talk about that another day. It's not that I didn't want to do it. It's just that I wasn't prepared to do it. Because I didn't have to do what y'all were doing. If you do something, you're doing it out the kindness of your heart. If he wanted to buy me a salad, he should have bought that out the kindness of his heart, and I complained about the price. Or I could have just bought my own salad. And then it came to this whole thing later on, when people began to argue about other things, that food came up like, well, y'all wasn't saying nothing when I bought y'all food. And I'm like, see, I'm glad I wasn't eating with y'all, because that happened later on. Like, now you bring up something that you did for people, so it wasn't genuine. I guess it may have been some competition about who can do this, who can do that. I'm not here to make money and spend it in here. Like, I'm here to make money and spend it out there. So that was something. So that's why I said don't share food, or be cautious when you share food. Like if y'all have like a company thing, I'll say don't do nothing like that personal to where everybody just spending their own money, because somebody might feel a way about that later on. If it's like a company thing, like a potluck or something like that, then I would say that it'd be okay, because it's the whole job giving in. But if you choose to do something personal, I would say be wise with that. None of these people were my friends, and then these are the same people later on that was mad that I wouldn't tell them my personal business. So I guess they thought that buying some food was finna get them in on stuff that I didn't want to talk about. Again, people can't bribe you to tell them stuff. If you don't want to tell them stuff, you don't want to tell them stuff. And it might come down to the point of somebody being so messy to where they might get you fired. Don't be afraid. There is multiple jobs. There's better opportunities. I've seen better opportunities, jobs that pay more everything. So I know it's easier said than leave, especially when you get fired, because nobody be expecting that. It's unexpected, but expect the unexpected, because this is not our company. We don't have power over these things. Then you have people that's in seniority, and it might not matter to us, but sometimes they put their little 2 cents in, and the manager like, well, we gonna flip this around. And then you be mad because you like, hey, you shouldn't even have no authority. But again, knowing when you going into a place, you can't say who should have this, who should have that. We don't know their relationship. So we're going ahead and let them do them. We're going to let them step on their own toes. And when things do go down like that, we just going to pray. We just going to pray about it. And it hurt, it do hurt, but we're just gonna pray about it. We're gonna let it go, because that's what the Lord asks us to do. We're gonna forgive them. Even if them folk been playing with our money, we're just gonna forgive them. We're gonna move forward, because anything that the Lord takes away, I believe He'll be fruitful and multiply that 10 times more than you can ever imagine. So it did hurt, some of the experiences that I just went through with these jobs, but at this point I done let it go, to where if I see somebody in public, then it's just I ain't finna be like, I ain't finna say none of them. Y'all might have been the ones that got me fired on my day off. It's just still gonna be out of respect if need be. If not, then that's fine as well. But just keep in mind these 12 things about a job. Just don't get too comfortable. Expect the unexpected. Make sure you save money. You know, don't separate business from personal. Be cautious with sharing things. Be cautious about who you let in your personal space in your life. Make sure that you don't do any dating. We don't want to date at the job. We want to keep our jobs so we can take care of the responsibilities that we do have. And if you have any more comments about that, any more tips about that, about how to remain safe at a job, leave that down below in the comment section. We'll be looking for that. And I will see you in the next video.